Hello. Hi. Wow, that was way louder than I thought it was going to be. First of all, I'd like to say welcome to That's What Teens Say. I do have a couple housekeeping things before we get started. The main one being that if there's a train that graces us with its presence, we will take a break and pause the stories until it passes because you literally can't hear anything when it comes by. So that's the biggest piece, is that if it comes through, we'll just pause for there. But anyway, again, welcome to That's What Teens Say. I'm Lori. I'm the regional director of That's What She Said Terre Haute and That's What Teens Say Terre Haute. And when I looked around the room this weekend, I didn't just see a group of women and teenagers, but I got to see some potential. I saw strength and softness, and I saw girls who are still becoming themselves. I personally see how important that is, and I can't help but think about who I was when I was 15. When I was 15, I was troubled. Not the kind of trouble that makes you dramatic or difficult, but the kind that happens when you're trying to carry more than you should at that time. I didn't know how to express what I was feeling. I didn't know how to ask for help, and I definitely did not feel safe being honest about what was going on inside of me. And so I ran. I physically ran away when I was 15, but if I'm honest, I had been running long before then. Running from conversations and from vulnerability, and honestly running from admitting that I was overwhelmed and scared. I didn't have a room like this, and I didn't have a weekend like this. I didn't have a circle of women who looked at me and said that you matter, your voice matters, your feelings are real, and you don't have to do hard things alone. Instead, I was forced to figure it out on my own. And that's why this program is so powerful. That's What Teens Say isn't just an event. It's not just speakers or sessions and breakout activities. It's an eruption. It interrupts the lie that you have to be perfect. It interrupts the idea that you're the only one struggling. It interrupts the silence that so many girls are living in. And when I sat here this weekend watching everyone laughing, opening up, answering hard questions, admitting fears, I didn't just see their bravery. I saw seeds being planted that say, you're allowed to feel deeply, you're allowed to dream, you're allowed to change your mind, and you're allowed to grow. Watching it all unfold, I kept thinking, what if I had this then? What if I sat down in a room with mentors that made space for me? And what if I had been told that running wasn't my only option? I can't go back to 15-year-old me, but I'm grateful that we have the opportunity to give it to someone else. Programs like these don't just create confidence for a weekend, but they create reference points. When life gets heavy, these girls can remember when they said hard things out loud. When other girls nodded while they shared something, they'll remember that they survived vulnerable moments and didn't fall apart. So to the founders, the organizers, the mentors, sponsors, and audience, thank you. Thank you for investing in these teenagers when it would be easier to just dismiss them. For the next 45 minutes or so, you'll hear a wide variety of stories. Funny ones, strong ones, powerful ones. They won't all be the same, but every voice deserves to be heard. So with that being said, let's give a round of applause for the That's What Teens Say speakers.
Hi. Try that again. Hi, everybody. My name is Shay. The truth is already within you. As the founder of Styles for Life, my work is deeply rooted in a truth I learned over time. The young girl I once was already carried everything she needed. I used to say, I want to be this when I grow up, and I want to be that, not realizing that even in my teenage years, life was already aligning. I was already on the journey, gathering resilience, cultivating curiosity, strengthening my voice, and developing the awareness that would later shape my purpose. Honestly, I didn't know I would grow up into this. An entrepreneur, a holistic educator, a woman committed to promoting order from the inside out, holding space for transformation, for growth, for healing, and for love. But the seeds were always there. In 2020, when I faced a series of health challenges, everything slowed down. I was forced to reevaluate what health truly meant, what happiness truly meant, and what alignment truly meant. And that season didn't break me, it refined me. And that is where I began studying how the body heals. I explored natural remedies, I reconnected with ancient practices, I discovered the profound power of nature and the sacred simplicity of something as small as a cup of tea. But what I really discovered was this: healing begins within. That truth became the foundation of Styles for Life. Not just tea, not just wellness, but intentional living with awareness. And when I reflect on my younger self, I realize something profound. Nothing was random. Every experience refined me. Every challenge strengthened me. Every quiet moment of reflection prepared me. I was being developed. There is something incredibly powerful about a young woman who is responsible with her voice, who uses it with integrity, intention, and awareness. A woman who understands that her words carry weight, that her presence shifts environments, that her discipline today shapes her legacy tomorrow. And if I could share what I wish my younger self fully understood, it would be this: keep writing, keep reflecting, keep asking questions, keep dreaming boldly, keep choosing environments that stretch you, keep choosing friendships that respect you, keep choosing thoughts that strengthen you. The woman you are becoming is already within you. She reveals herself each time you choose growth over comfort, discipline over distraction, and love over fear. You are not waiting to become powerful. You are learning how to direct the power you already hold. It does not need to be downloaded from the outside. It needs to be uncovered and trusted. So, to my younger self, thank you for dreaming without limits. Thank you for believing there was more. Thank you for trusting the quiet inner pull toward meaning. And to every young girl who is still discovering her voice, trust what feels natural to you. Trust what feels natural to you now. Your curiosity, your sensitivity, your desire to lead, to create, to care, may be the very foundation of your future leadership. There is guidance within you that is reliable, that quiet inner nudge, that instinct, that creative idea that won't leave you alone. It is not random, it is wisdom. So be committed to your voice. Be committed to your values, your vision, because what unfolds when you do may one day move your young girl heart in ways you cannot imagine. The truth is already within you. Thank you.
Help Yourself to Happiness, a poem by Helen Steiner Reyes. Everybody everywhere seeks happiness, it's true, but finding it and keeping it seems difficult to do. Difficult because we think that happiness is found only in places where wealth and fame abound. And so we go on searching in places of pleasure, seeking recognition and monetary treasure, unaware that happiness is just a state of mind within reach of everyone who takes time to be kind. For in making others happy, we will be happy too. For the happiness you give away returns to shine on you.
Hi, my name is KeKe. I'm 15 years old and I'm going to talk about my favorite hobbies, doing hair. I started doing hair when I was 12 years old. My friends let me practice on them. I enjoy doing hair because it helps make other people happy and confident. Doing hair makes me feel better because it is something I feel like I am very good at. I love seeing girls react to the hairstyles I do. I do have someone to braid my hair for me, so I want to do that for other black girls like me. I love building trust with kids and girls like my age. I also love using colorful beads, bows, and weave because that helps girls like me show their personality. I want white girls to feel confident and brave too. There's a beautiful little white girl I named Lori. I love her so much, she lets me practice on her hair. She gave me the power that I needed. I love doing hair, but I also love teaching people how to braid. When I practiced, I would get really mad, but guess what? I kept going. I didn't let it get to me because I love helping kids feel beautiful. I learned that braiding takes time, and I was able to work on my patience by doing hair. Braiding is hard at first, but if you keep practicing, it gets easy. Remember, doing hair takes time, but it has helped me become happy and confident. My favorite, like Lori, means the world to me. I love her very much.
The house always seemed a little bit louder than the others on the street. Not in a chaotic way, loud in the way kitchens get when people linger. Chairs scraping on the floor because someone pulled up another seat. The refrigerator opening 10 times in an hour. Someone laughing from the next room and you don't even know what the joke was about, but you laugh anyway. At my mammal's house, the kitchen was the heart of everything. You didn't even have to be hungry to end up there. People leaned against counters, sat at the table long after plates were empty, or wandered in just to see what was going on. Family drifted in and out like it was the most natural thing in the world. Someone stopping by for just a minute that turned into an hour, someone telling a story that they'd already told 5 times, but it was funny every single time. The kind of laughter that fills a room so fully that it almost feels like the house itself was enjoying it. And when grandkids arrived, my Papal made sure the fun got even louder. Papal didn't sit on the sidelines watching life go by. He jumped right in, especially when it came to his granddaughters. The living room could turn into a playground within minutes. Papal became whatever the moment needed, a jungle gym, a storyteller, a referee for games that the rules changed every 5 minutes. He never seemed to get tired of it. To him, his granddaughters weren't just kids running around the house. We were the highlight of the whole day. There's something powerful about a little girl knowing she was adored by her Papal. It planted confidence quietly but deeply. It told me that I mattered, that I was worth someone's time, energy, and attention. While Papal filled the house with laughter, Mammal kept everything moving like a steady heartbeat of the place. Food appeared just at the right time, drinks were being poured, and gentle reminders making the house a home. Together, they made the house feel like gravity. No matter how busy life got, everyone eventually drifted back. And through it all, there was another quiet example shaping me every day, my mom. If Mammal's house was the gathering place, my mom was the one that made sure family stayed the center of everything. It was simply the way she lived, showing up mattered, checking on people mattered, and making time for family mattered. I watched her care for others without hesitation, always making sure people she knew felt loved and supported and seen. She had a way of noticing the small things that most people missed. If someone was having a hard day, she knew it. If someone needed encouragement, she was the first to give it, and if family needed help, she never had to be asked twice. Family wasn't just important to her, it was the compass that guided everything that she did. Birthdays, holidays, and ordinary Sundays, or moments when life felt really heavy, she made sure that no one ever had to face any of those moments alone. From her, I learned that love isn't just something you say, it's something that requires action. It's the phone calls, the check-ins, and the time you give even when life gets really busy. Without realizing it, that lesson settled deep inside of me. It made me attentive to others, compassionate, and the kind of person who notices when someone might need kindness and gives it freely. Mammal's house became a classroom without a chalkboard. There I learned how families really work, not the perfect version that people post about, the real version. I saw people tease each other relentlessly and then turn around and defend each other just as fiercely. Disagreements somehow never cracked the foundation underneath. From that, I learned a quiet truth. Love doesn't require perfection. It just means staying. It meant showing up. I also learned the art of storytelling there, sitting at a table while older generations shared memories from years before I was even born. Funny mishaps, hard times, and family legends that grew a little bigger every time that they were told. Those stories stitched me into something larger than myself. I was part of something that was already in motion. And somehow, along the way, without even noticing it, it all shaped me into the person I am. The laughter of family taught me humor. Papa's attention taught me confidence, and Mama's warmth taught me compassion. My mom's devotion to family taught me how to care for others. As the years pass, pieces of Mama's house still travel with me. In the way I listen when someone needs to talk, in the way I try to keep things light even when life gets really heavy. In the way I believe people are all worth showing up for. If someone asked me where that came from, the answer wouldn't be one single moment. It would be that house, with the screen door that cracked, the crowded kitchen, Papa surrounded by his granddaughters happily outnumbered, Mama making sure that everyone had eaten, and my mom quietly showing me that family always comes first. And that feeling that no matter how hard life got outside of those walls, there was always a place where I belonged, and that a house is always a home.
Do you ever love to just jam out in your room to music, or even wish you had an instrument to play along? I like to listen to classical music or music with drums and electric guitars. We can listen to music and actually feel it. Music can be escape from things. If I'm somewhere I don't know, I usually listen to music and say to myself. Now for the fun part of this story, I like to tell you how I got an instrument that I wanted for a long time. I didn't have any specific reasons why I really wanted this instrument, but I know I wanted it because I thought it was really cool, especially to hear other people playing it. In middle school, my friend played the bass, and I thought that was pretty awesome. One night, while my grandpa was doing his Bible study, I was sitting in a chair drawing in my sketchbook. Drawing is another way I can express my creativity out loud, just like music. Music is another form of art, and that's rad. I glanced up and saw my pastor talking with my grandma. He called me over and asked me if I would like to learn to play the bass. I was very excited when he said that because I have been wanting to play for a long time, but you know, you can't really play something if you don't have it. Without having an actual bass of my own, I literally just pretended to play or watch other people who played. So I was very grateful to have the opportunity to learn. From that day forward, he has had me practicing on the church bass. I practiced on the nights that my grandpa was doing his Bible study. There were some days I couldn't practice. Due to my school studies. But I know this is a big opportunity for me to learn. I think learning to play the bass is a great way to add to my coolness. Now for the most exciting part. Last year during Christmas time, my pastor had me, my brother, Camden, Shaya, and basically all the kids come to the church. He had presents for all of us. Before we opened them, he talked to us about the real meaning of Christmas. After that was done, he told us to close our eyes. I had no idea what he had planned. All I knew was that it involved presents. I was excited but also very curious about what I could have gotten. After he told us to open our eyes, I saw a big, tall box stand beside me. After the others started to open theirs up, I saw a game going on. My brother got drum stuff, Camden got keyboard stuff, I got a guitar stuff. So when it was my turn, I opened my presents with excitement. When I got to the big one, I dropped the wrapping paper and had to have help opening the box. Once it was open, I saw a pretty blue bass. I smiled so big because I was happy and shocked that he got me my very own bass. The best part though, that it was free for me, although it wasn't free for my pastor since he bought it. He bought it for me because he loves me and sees my talents as well as my capabilities. So thank you, Pastor Tim, for buying me my very own bass.
Hi, my name is Herlinda Reyes, and this is my testimony. When I was born with a heart defect called hypoplastic left heart syndrome. I have had 3 open heart surgeries, one when I was 7 days old, and 2 others when I was 1 and 4 years old. I'm now 18 years old. I don't really like talking about it because I don't want other people to assume what I'm capable of. And I don't want people to look at me weird or treat me differently just because of it. On May 19, 2025, I got hit with a basketball on accident, and I thought I was going to die, but I had people praying over me. Also, on that day, I had my first panic attack. That was really scary. Seeing my brothers sad and scared made me feel like it was my fault that I was there. But they told me it wasn't my fault. On February 25th of 2026, I started track, and we had to run bleachers. I haven't done sports since elementary, but I did get permission from my doctor that I can do track, as long as I don't go past my limit. In this incident, I had an experiment. When I was running up and down the bleachers. I made it to my second to last bleacher when I couldn't breathe, and I started to have a panic attack. I saw my little brother running up and down the bleachers like it was light work, but he told me to stop, and I didn't listen. He saw me crying, so he ran to me and made me stop. But if he wasn't there and didn't make me stop, I would have went over my limit. I told my older brother about it, and he said if this call had a name for it, it would be called Know Your Limits. Truly because I almost went over my limit. My mom prayed over me, and God told her, she shall live and not die. The doctors told my mother to take me home and make me comfortable, because babies with this condition doesn't live. Psalms 118, verse 17. I will not die, instead I will live to tell what the Lord has done.
Growing up, I was often overlooked. I experienced abuse from people that should have loved me. I refuse to let that be my story. 15 years ago, I took a drive to Champaign, Illinois, not knowing that specific love would save my life. She was waiting for me too. Because of her, I knew giving up was not an option. Coming from an abusive relationship where you absolutely feel like you cannot get out, I needed a hero. Now, my hero is probably not like your hero. She's sassy, creative, messy, and extra, like me. We do everything together. When I am feeling down, discouraged, or not important, she reminds me that I am needed on this earth. When I come home from my long day of work, she greets me with lots of kisses and good vibes. Sometimes we walk together, and sometimes we go to the park together. She is always interested in what I have to say, never judges when I talk to myself and answer my own questions, laughs at my jokes, dances with me, and loves when I sing to her. She enjoys her nightly belly rubs and body massages. I welcome only her snores. Naming her was easy. Looking into her eyes, I knew she was my princess. Birthday parties are huge. We have gifts, cake, and all the outfits. And she has her own collection of lamb chops. Our connection and love has gotten me through some of the hardest times in my life. If given a choice, I would make that drive again. Because of love, this conditional is just what my heart needed. By now, you are probably curious about the special kind of love that I have. Princess. She is my dog. She is a Pomeranian. She is my support and my reason. Some people have children that become the reason that they keep going. For me, it's my chunker, my do-love-do's, my roo-roos, my Kerr, my little wolfies, my precious gift from God.
For those who don't know me, I'm the regional producer for That's What She Said, and That's What Teens Say in Terre Haute in Indianapolis. And truly, I thank you for being here. Your presence is not small, when you show up for something like this, you are saying that stories matter, that young girls matter, that women's voices matter. And that means everything. This weekend didn't begin with confidence. It began with uncertainty. It began with quiet nerves hiding behind brave smiles. It began with teens looking around the room wondering, did I really sign up for this? It began with mentors hoping they would say the right words at the right time. And if I'm being completely honest, it began with me questioning myself too. So, I have a vision for this weekend. I always do. I imagine the flow, the picture, the growth. I hope for those breakthrough moments. I want everything to feel meaningful and powerless and seamless. But growth rarely follows the script. There were moments when things didn't go according to my carefully thought out plan. Conversations took unexpected turns. Emotions surfaced. Energy shifted, and I felt it. That tightening in my chest that says you're losing control. And when you care deeply about something, losing control is terrifying. This isn't just an event to me. It isn't just logistics and rehearsals and a schedule on paper. It's something I believe in with my whole entire heart. It's something I wish more of us would have had when we were kids. So when it feels uncertain, it feels personal. And that's when the old voice showed up. You know, the one. The voice that says, maybe you're not really cut out for this. The voice that whispers, you should have done it differently though. The voice that questions whether you're carrying something that's meaningful. I lost sleep. I replayed conversations. I overanalyzed every tiny detail. I worried about these teens feeling safe. I worried about the mentors feeling supported. I worried about letting anyone down. For a brief moment, I let myself drift into the what ifs. What if this doesn't even work? What if they don't connect? What if I fail at something that matters so much to me? And here's the honest part. There was a time in my life when I would have stayed there. I would have let that fear anchor me. I would have spiraled into self-doubt and carried it silently. But this time, I chose differently. I picked up the phone and I called a friend. I spoke the fear out loud instead of letting it grow in the dark. I leaned on the women beside me. I talked to these girls. I allowed myself to not have it all together. And then something shifted. Instead of focusing on what wasn't perfect, I started paying attention to what was happening right in front of my eyes. I watched the teens. I watched them come in shy and guarded, and I watched them hesitate before raising their hands. I watched them take a breath before sharing something vulnerable. I watched them listen to each other with compassion. I watched them clap for each other, and they had genuine joy. I watched bravery unfold in real time. And in that moment, I realized something powerful. If these kids can face their fears at 13, 14, and 15, even 18, and step onto a stage and share their truth, then I can face mine too. That's what this program does. It creates a space where girls are allowed to be seen, fully seen. Not for how they look, not for how popular they are, not for how perfectly they perform, but for who they truly are. It creates friendships rooted in encouragement instead of comparison. It gives creativity room to breathe. It gives insecurity a place to soften. It gives pain a place to be spoken, and it gives joy a place to be celebrated. Imagine having this when we were younger. Imagine walking into a room and feeling like you didn't have to shrink. Imagine being told your story actually matters, and then being handed a microphone to prove it. Imagine being surrounded by women who championed you instead of competing with you. For some of us, that would have changed everything. And that's why this matters. This isn't just a weekend workshop. It isn't just a one-night show, and it isn't just a performance. It's a ripple effect. Confidence walks back into classrooms, self-worth walks into friend groups, boundaries walk into relationships, and leadership is walking into our community. When one girl finds her voice, she influences 10 more. When one woman stands up and tells the truth, she quietly gives permission for someone else to do the same. People often ask me why I do this, why I pour so much time and energy and heart into all these events. The answer is layered, but simple at its core. I have always been a girl's girl. I believe in women supporting women. I believe in lifting as we climb. I believe there's room for every single one of us to rise. But I also do this because I know what it feels like to doubt yourself. I know what it feels like to question whether you belong in certain rooms. I know what it feels like to carry stories that shape you, both beautiful and hard. And I know the power of speaking them out loud. When I was given the opportunity to bring these events to Terre Haute and Indianapolis, I thought I was saying yes to producing shows. Easy, I can do that. What I was really saying yes to was transformation. And not just for the teens, not just for the women, but for me. This work has stretched me, it has humbled me, it has forced me to confront my own insecurities instead of hiding behind productivity. It has reminded me that leadership isn't about perfection, it's about presence. It has taught me that courage is not the absence of fear. It's movement despite fear. I haven't just produced events, I have witnessed transformations. I have watched these girls discover strength they didn't know they had. I've seen women reconnect with dreams they set aside years ago. I felt rooms shift when truth lands and someone in the audience realizes they are not alone. I've cried in the back of the room, I've cheered from the front row. I have held hands in hard moments. I've celebrated breakthroughs I will never forget. And every single time, I walk away changed. Because the truth is, these teens and these women have given me just as much as I've given them, probably even more. They've given me perspective. They've given me renewed faith. They have given me courage when mine felt small. They have given me community. They have given me a deeper understanding of what belonging really, truly feels like. Real change in a community doesn't start with a perfect plan. It starts with one person deciding to show up. One person deciding to create space. One person deciding to believe in someone else before they believe in themselves. So if you take anything from today, let it be this. Use your voice. Encourage someone, mentor someone. Be the safe place you once needed. Speak life over the girls in your world. Clap loudly for other women. Build bigger tables. And never underestimate the ripple effect of bravery. Because when we create spaces like this, spaces where stories are honored and vulnerability is welcome, we don't just change individuals. We change generations. As long as I'm able, I will continue to say yes to this work. I will continue to create rooms where voices are amplified, where bravery is celebrated, where healing is possible, and where no one has to feel alone in their story. Here's to more stories, more courage, more connection, more healing, more girls discovering they are enough, more women remembering they always were, and more of us refusing to stay stuck when fear tries to hold us back. Thank you for believing in this. Thank you for showing up. And thank you for being part of something that is so much bigger than a stage.
When I was little, I always had a supportive mom. My favorite memory when I was little, getting to play with my mom at the park. I love when she puts me on the swing. The best part about going to the park, we always got ice cream after. These memories with my mom makes me happy. And that reminded me that I have the best mom ever. My mom moved us from Texas when I was 10 to give us a better life, and we moved to Terre Haute. Moving was a very hard time in my life. When I cried or get upset, my mom always comforted me and told me everything will be okay. I know if I ever needed to talk to someone, I can go to my mom about anything. My mom does